Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison coming to you live here from Chicagoland Speedway with the with the NSR Gen 4 League. Stella joining alongside me tonight here for the Tropicana 400 at Chicagoland. Tough track we're looking at here tonight. There's going to be a lot of cloud cover out here, and I think some of the drivers are scared a little bit out there about the condition of the track for how this is going to play out for the remainder here of the race and for the night, and whether we'll be running underneath the lights. All right.
Yes, we're here at Chicagoland, like you said. It opened in July of 2001 and has hosted the Xfinity Series until its closure in 2019. So this is another track that we can come to thanks to iRacing and their scans.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the way what they use it for is actually parking Fords out there now. Stella, do we know if that's kind of cleaned up yet? If that's something they've kind of put behind themselves?
No, I do not have that info, nor do I have a screen this evening. So we're working on getting a lot of things up and running here.
All right, well, we'll let you fight that on your end. I know I've got up top and spitting out there. Right now, we're taking a look at Nathan Landwehr out there, currently running in that number one spot. Unfortunately, he is grinding along the wall, so he's going to be seeing what he can do. It looks like Devin Lockridge out there will be on top of the box out there. Once again for Jared Magoon out there in the number 99. I believe he'll be in the X-Side machine tonight. We'll check out and see. Yes, he is. So the X-Side Ford back out there, currently running in the number 2 spot. We'll see if that qualifying position will hold. Brian Wiggins looks like he's finally getting his first lap in, and we're trying our best to see what all we can do to make something happen out there for these guys. So as qualifying continues on here, let's take a quick peek at what our race will consist of here tonight and kind of squeeze this all together with the race here tonight at Chicagoland. We continue to have more and more issues here, even on our end. Right now, I'm showing currently 133 laps we've got lined up for you guys here tonight. And oddly enough, they're actually going to get an extra set of tires than they're normal out here. Normally, we do only have 2 sets of tires down in pit. There will be 3 down in the pits. Of course, no fast repairs. This being an open setup league, this is going to be pretty interesting here for these guys, to say none the least, whether they're going to be able to survive this all the way to the end or not. Stella, we've been to Chicagoland a couple of times. It's a love-hate relationship for some of these drivers. Whether or not they're going to enjoy it or not is to be seen. I don't know if a couple of guys do have their options open. I know a driver I haven't seen before out there is the number 96. Looks like Mike McConville out there right now, currently holding 9th. We're going to see if he's going to get any extra speed out there. Peter out there rooting on Shane Wheeldon. And right now, Wheeldon is actually, he'll be qualifying top 10. Right now, he's hanging out in 8th. McConville can't get any higher. Sikosi out there looking like he's finished up his lap. Brian Wiggins finished up his lap. And with about another minute left here in qualifying, looks like that should do it. Clint Mata and Jacob Kaplan showing they are not going to have any opportunity here or time to have a chance out here to run. All right. Looks like, yep. Devin Lockridge out there going ahead and updating you guys that Mike out there in the 96 was the winner during ARCA on Wednesdays. That should have been their opener. So we'll see how all that does here and whether or not that's going to be the key to winning here tonight. I don't know if anybody has anything that they have an opportunity to come up with. Stella, you got any of your electrical issues figured out there?
That would be a negative. I'm kind of hoping maybe you can restart my end.
All right, well, we'll see what we can do out there. I know Stella is having a heck of a time trying to get linked up here, and I know it's definitely a headache. I know sometimes iRacing does make modifications occasionally, and things will and won't come through. But hopefully celebrate when you can and when you can't if it's if it is able to come alive on you there.
Oh, hallelujah.
All right, awesome. All right, Stella, it looks like qualifying has completed here. If you are good to go now, go ahead and grab your first driver and see what they feel about tonight's race out here, as this is the first round here of the playoffs, and I think some of these guys are going to be kind of holding their breath here, whether or not, whether they're in the running and how they're going to make it. Stella, do you have any of our points lined up?
I have a few. I'm assuming that the standings will coincide with what I have up on SimRacer Hub. That puts Avila, Justin Cope, and Mark Sikosi in 1, 2, and 3. Now,
Right.
whether they have decided to take everyone that was within 400 points of the leaders, everybody is still in.
All right, so there's a shot. Avila is out there. As you see, we took a look of the over-top view there of Chicagoland. And you're going to see we're going to be racing. I think where we're going to land it, we may end up racing under the lights. I'm just concerned of any kind of cloud cover if there is going to be kind of sort of a mist or a fog out there that's going to be causing any sort of trouble. I know Jared Magoon out there with Devin Lockridge on the box. They're going to be making a few adjustments to see how this track is going to I would say morph. Normally the track never stays the way it is. The track will either start heating up or cooling down out there. Drivers will end up having some tire strategy issues. But seeing we're going for 133 laps, this is going to be a pretty rough one here for our drivers. Now, I don't know who in the world's got an opportunity here to make something work. But Stella, talk to me a little bit about, the race here tonight and kind of see what's going on with adjustments that these guys can make. From what I've heard, this thing takes out that right front tire in a heartbeat. And I think we've got Johnny Avila out there.
You betcha. I've got somebody who can definitely tell us the information that you're asking for a whole lot better than I can. This is our number one driver in the standings after our last week's Talladega Speedway.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Patrick, your question about those wonderful tires?
Yeah, man. How are those right sides feeling out there tonight here at Chicagoland?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I am not at all prepared for this race. I loaded up an old setup. Right now, as I'm doing laps, it feels like it's chewing up the right front. So I might make some last-minute Hail Mary adjustments just to loosen it up, because you don't really want to wear out one corner of the car more than the other. You kind of want it just to wear out evenly. And with this track surface being so abrasive and bumpy, managing those right side tires is going to be everything.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I think even, a lot of people are having issues out here tonight, not just with the car on the track, the technical issues on our side. I'm wondering who is ready for this race. This is the first round of the playoffs here at the Tropicana 400. What do you guys plan to do? I mean, we're looking to have a strong finish here tonight, or are we confident for a win?
I'm always going for the win, but I'm gonna pray that I can make it to the end. So I'm going in with a lot of optimism, we'll say.
All right. Well, yeah, I feel you, man. Chicagoland's really a toss-up. I would say, unless you are a mile and a half connoisseur, this track is pretty one-sided. You either like it or you don't. There's no real in-between, but you got to battle it here tonight, and hopefully we'll see you be able to come out on top, as it's going to be definitely a tumble-up out there. And I would question, any other driver out there that you may have trouble with, or that you might be able to link up with tonight, or is this a solo run?
Well, I have my teammate Nate. He showed up about the same time as me, so team preparedness is at an all-time high. But it'll be interesting. There's a lot of fast guys. Our main focus is gonna just be to keep the car clean, get a good finish. And I can assure you, every time there's a yellow, I'm probably gonna pit and make a lot of adjustments to try and dial this thing in, because it is not driving good right now.
Driving like garbage. Yeah, hopefully you'll able to come up with something. I saw the 28 had a pretty successful line up there toward the top, but Johnny, good luck to you out there, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, Stella, not quite sure where you found that feller, but hopefully you are able to team him up back with his team. Was he up there with Yates Racing?
Yes.
All right, well, we'll definitely work on that. We are definitely struggling on our side here, trying to make sure we get you guys the best here. As right now, Chicagoland is lining up, and we should be getting to our starting grid here for just a moment. Right now, I am SDK dead in the water here, doing what it does best, absolutely nothing. So we'll see how.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, I'll go ahead and run through our lineup, though, as these guys are getting onto the track, and we'll kind of work our way through it here. All right, moving on, Johnny Avila and Nathan Landwehr sitting 1 and 2. Brian Wiggins sits 3, and Justin Cope sitting in that number 4 position. Hopefully Cope is able to continue on. Right now, his hot streak has been looking really good here as of late. He's ended up with some finishes I think that have even surprised him. Mark Sikosi starts 5th next to Jared Magoon. And the inside of row number 4 is going to put us with Jason Crumley and Shane Wielden. Moving on, Mike McConville right now in 9th. Patrick Gettner all the way back there in the number 10. Yeah, in the 10th spot in the number 45 there for the Richard Petty team. Speaking of which, let's see if we can find another Richard Petty team member. That we can. Right now, that is going to be the 44, Jacob Kaplan and Clint Mata, bringing up the rear here of the field. So, woo, boy, these boys got some work to do to get their way back up front. You see what I'm talking about as these drivers are getting out there on the track. How that sun is starting to come down, and I'm wondering if it's going to be some trouble out there for the exit of turn number 4, if they are going to have a glare that they are just not going to be able to see, and everybody's going to be real puckered up, because the exit of 4 is extremely difficult there, Stella.
I was going to say, puckered up. That's a good one for it. But I'm seeing that sunshine coming in from the left there already. So we're going to get a good first-hand view of what it's going to be. Oh, well, that's not hateful. It seems to be blocked by your advertisements and then by the lovely banking of, let's see, about 18 degrees on this lovely D-shaped oval.
All right. I think we finally got her fixed. Quick snap of the fingers. Always get it just in time. Holy cow. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this underway. Green flag is out, and here we go. For the Tropicana 400, we are getting kicked off here. First round of the playoff. Avila said he wasn't feeling real good about his setup, yet here he is, sitting in the number 1 position. Nathan Landwehr sitting right behind him. We'll see if the Haviland machine decides to shoot on by earlier than later. I know fresh air is definitely a huge concern here at this track. Stella came to mind when we think about Chicagoland and guys who were able to capitalize very well and actually put a hurting on the field. Caleb Gilbert out there with the Racing Revolution. This guy was able to come away with a win by almost half the track. That and Kansas as well. Those are almost identical tracks the way those cookie cutters are shaped out. So it is, I would say, if you can figure out one, you can figure out both. As we see Nathan Landwehr falling off just a hair here behind Johnny Avila, who's currently still sitting in that number 1 position. Here we go, finishing up lap number 2. We're moving on. Any big movers? Yep, well, there is one. Shane Wielden, but in the wrong direction. So unfortunately, he's dropped down to the 11th spot, trying to see if he can fight his way back up front in that Richard Petty car, as he is following behind Jacob Kaplan, who's in the 44, and, yep, we are looking for his 3rd teammate out there. We are working
Patrick Gettner in the 45.
Yeah, Patrick Gettner in the 45, but he is out in front by almost a second over top of Shane Wielden.
Ah, okay, yeah, because I was looking 45, 44, 43. They were right in line, 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's pretty good. The one I was looking for is last year's second place driver, Stoney Benfield. He would have maybe put up some a good showing for tonight.
Yeah, Stoney Benfield has been missing here for quite some time. I haven't seen him
Yes.
for at least 3 to 4 races, so I don't know if he's MIA, what's going on out there. But let's keep an eye here on Jared Magoon. Avila has fallen out of the lead. Not by 1, but by 2. That's going to move Brian Wiggins up 1 spot. We remember him actually out in the chat last week. This time he's racing tonight. Watch Avila turn it on. Inside line here as we watch him shoot down the backstretch. Into turn number 3. Look at Wiggins diving on in there.
Yeah, looking good. We heard that, you know, he was going to be testing out this car here. Looks like it's given him a little bit more trouble than he would have hoped for, but skill prevails. He is still in P3.
Yeah, well, as he holds on for P3, there was a battle up there for that number 1 spot. Right now, Magoon is finding the success on the top line. You'll see a lot of guys, for longevity-wise, taking the 3/4 line, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to snug up behind Nathan Landwehr, currently sitting in 2nd. There's a chance we may see Jared Magoon start leading this race.
There you go. And another driver we haven't seen in a while, Devin Lockridge, is actually behind the scenes of Jared Magoon. He's on the box, giving him some pointers as far as checking out who's coming by and being his spotter, as well as his crew chief tuning him up and making changes as we go.
All right, moving out in front. Jared Magoon has the lead there for about half a turn, and then it looks like Nathan Landwehr takes his I guess his kind of his strategy against him. He keeps on the top line and passes him back. If I were that 99 Exide machine, I would not give up on that line, regardless of the block on the back stretch or the front stretch. I might rearrange that Haviland machine right now. If Magoon can stay up there, I think he may end up leading this race and pulling away, and he does. Gets 1, 2, now 6, 7. Holy cow! By almost 4/10 of a second already. He's out in front. So far, Magoon is able to get that fresh air. That's 5 positions gained here on the night. And I think now, with Magoon having at least half a second lead over top of Nathan Landwehr, now it might be time to check it up a little bit. Pull a little bit off that throttle and save those tires, because right now he is out in front here before lap number 10. Congratulations, Jared Magoon. He's got the lead.
Nice, and that will also give him a point in the cup chase. So leading a lap is the way to go.
Yeah, a bunch of times Jared Magoon has been unable to complete the races just from some accidents that have happened out there, and he got caught up in them. Right now, let's move up to somebody else who's moving up. Mike McConville currently sitting in 6th. Yeah, I know, I feel like I'm butchering his name, but I'm fairly certain that's it.
Yes.
Yep,
I think it would be.
Yep, 96 from 9th to 6th here tonight. Great job as he continues to charge forward. Mark Sikosi is watching him in the rearview mirror as he is getting ever so close, and we've got a couple of guys shuffling around out there. Nathan Landwehr starting to work a little bit on Brian Wiggins, who passed him. Magoon is stretching it out to over a second now, and hopefully is not overdriving that car, but that is exactly what you expect, and what I figured that is.
Man, looking good. He's a full second.
Let's check back in on Cope. Let's see if Cope's figured it out. Now, Stella, I've seen some guys run that white line here at Chicagoland and just no success for long stretches of time. I don't see this going under caution at all here tonight. If there is, it's going to be somebody with a mistake. I did see earlier Justin Cope got in some trouble out there. I believe it was with Brian Wiggins. Cope was trying to top down a technique, trying to see if he could come from the top line of the turn, squeeze down to the white stripe, and end up taking the nose off Brian Wiggins, his own teammate out there.
But that was only during practice, right?
Right. So both of them got their vehicles repaired, and they'll be back there. They are back out there. But a couple of guys are having to kind of shuffle around a little bit. That's why I was saying the mistakes happen then, but I really don't see anybody making a mistake here unless they decide, unless somebody accidentally loops in here. Right now we are taking a look at, boy, Sikosi's got that high side. Avila's taking the bottom. But Sikosi, look at that. Top line. It's starting to work. So I would say, Stella, when we look at this race here so far, look at what it's doing for the drivers who've decided to take the high line. Magoon is now losing a little bit of pace here, but he is hovering still around the 8 to 9 tenths out front. So a comfortable 1 second lead over top of Brian Wiggins. As we take a look off the rear here, that's his competition.
I like that view. If I'm the guy in first.
Yeah, 100% right now. Sikosi continuing to fight up front. Nathan Landwehr. And they said they are having some trouble out there with Gates Racing. He's shuffling around a little bit, trying to see what kind of setups they can do. And he said every time they pit, he's going to make adjustments. And I guarantee you, he's already working on what he can and can't do. I know they can give a few rounds of wedge out there, maybe a track bar adjustment. But when it comes to practice, that's where spring rates and shock changes move in. When he said this track was super rough, normally you see a lot of guys having to manage that shock rebound and jounce out there for these guys to maintain smooth. The more this car bumps around, the more difficult it is. And it looks like Clint Mata is having a little bit of that.
Is that really a term in racing, jounce?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes.
I've used it, but just when somebody's jouncing me around, in the car or something like that.
Yep.
I didn't realize that they really use that.
Yep. You can actually jounce a vehicle before you do an alignment as well. Required to get the suspension settled in after it's been unloaded. All right, let's move up to Patrick Gettner. Right now, McConville, Gettner, and Kaplan all up 3 positions here. So they are currently 6, 7, and 8. So right now, these guys in good company. They're hanging out with each other. And moving front, Jason Crumley, unfortunately, along with Justin Cope. Cope started 4th, down to 9th, and right now he's in some trouble. Here's a pass by Gettner. Gettner starting to chop in to the Yates Racing team. With McConville behind him, Avila will be next. Landwehr's after that. As we continue watching this race, right now Magoon out to a good, solid run. And I would say Lockridge is probably telling him to check it up just a little bit out there. Hanging out by 3/4 of a second, which is comfortable. It's out, keeping the rest of the guys out of the middle trap. So they are having to work a little bit harder to stay out in front of him. But they are going to be fighting through that dirty air. If Magoon has a good run here tonight, pit stops go as planned. I think he's got a heck of a chance for the win here tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got to be feeling pretty good up there. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about the, going from 1 second to a half a second lead of Brian Wiggins. Since you said try not to burn off the tires, he's probably listening.
Yep. Well, he might want to start picking up the pace just a hair here. Right now, Magoon a little bit as we move him into the screen here. Little scuff with the wall. Let's see if I can get some drone footage out there and take a look. Looks like that 99 car is okay. He's got to be careful. Notice how that rear end is starting to sidestep a little bit into the turns. Or, excuse me, on the exit of the turns here. So I don't know if that car is getting too tight on him. Which is good to know, because once you're at this stage of the race, you know his car is fast at the beginning. So now we've gotten past the hard part. We've gotten up front, we've gotten the lead, we've got the fresh air. Now the biggest thing you're going to see Jared Magoon and Devin Lockridge start working on here. And this is where it works great as a team, when guys are working together instead of by themselves out there. Is Jared Magoon's now saying, hey, this thing is kind of plowing into these turns. I don't like the way it feels. It feels like the steering wheel's getting too tight. The back end's trying to kick out on me. And then you're going to see Devin Lockridge do a little bit of calculations out there, what he needs to adjust and get this guy back going with some speed. So with the fresh air out front, making those passes, now he's going to be able to have to change that setup a little bit. That way he can get the longevity out of the car that he needs.
Yeah, I've heard them talk about short-run cars and long-run cars and things like that. So I kind of understand what you're saying. We know it works well right at the beginning. Now let's see what we can do as far as the long shots go. Now, I notice, unlike, most intermediate oval tracks, this backstretch is a little unusual because it never actually straightens out. There's still, kind of a banking to it. It's still kind of round, if I may say so. But so that's a little bit different. I wonder if that's throwing anybody off or helping anybody in this particular case.
Well, hopefully it's doing better, helping them more than it's making it worse out there. As you can see, that sun is setting. I think we're going to be waiting for the lights to come on here. See out there, Devin Lockard says it's like the real cold trickle out there.
Excellent.
Well, he's got to trust the guy on the box. So let's
Yes.
check back in on McConville, Gettner, and Cope. Right now, that is Gettner working the top line here. Crumley is off by a good chunk right now, about 15 seconds off pace. Clint Mata a bit more less than that. As Clint Mata currently passes the line, right now he's got to make up 10 seconds to keep up with Jared Magoon's pace out there. Shane Wheeldon sitting in 10th. Right now that is Cope working out there, seeing if he can get McConville. But it's going to be Gettner first as he takes the top line, sitting 7th. Woo! Quick little slice. Gettner not shaken up there at all by Nathan Landwehr slicing on up the track. Watch
Well, he's
for
alone
Gettner.
in that.
Yeah, watch for Gettner. Ouch! Ow! No!
Get off!
Well, it's hooked him. He's down to 120 miles an hour. And it
Oh
won't
my
let go.
heaven!
There, now it let go.
Oh no! Okay. Whew. I thought it let go just all of a sudden, and he was going to run right into Shane Wheeldon.
Boy, ton of damage here to Patrick Gettner's car.
Man.
Yeah, he was thinking about pitting there, but he said, let's go ahead and keep it going.
Yeah, it looks like paint damage more than anything else. We don't see a crumpled fender, cutting into the wheel or anything.
Which is really lucky. But what he did was stay up against the wall, and then you saw him kind of jerk the wheel there. That way he could get detached. With him trying to lightly apply pressure to remove himself off the wall. That wall just hooked him in, and he just couldn't get released. Once it finally released him, that's where he got caught up. But I think the 45 is going to have some issues here around that right front fender and right rear quarter panel, as it may be mashed in a little bit here.
I did see a little bit of a tail wag there as he came around that last corner. He may be rethinking the pit strategy, but we're only at lap 29 of 133 with 3 sets of tires in the pit. So, and no cautions in the near future, it appears, like you were saying, unless there's somebody bombards somebody else. But with the spacing out here on the track with 12 drivers, we can probably rest assured that unless somebody just takes a hard right turn into that lovely safety barrier wall, we should be pretty clean tonight.
I was going to say, do you see Jared Magoon later on here that he has stretched out his lead to 2.25 seconds? I mean, whatever it is, this late stage here in the run, he is now starting to turn it on and starting to put the distance on. This is impressive here.
Love it.
To see from this angle, let me see if we can even hop up top. Nothing against Brian Wiggins. That's Magoon. That's Wiggins.
Good.
And that's Sakosi chasing right behind him here. So that is
good
definitely...
to see Sakosi in a podium position.
Yeah. Along with Brian Wiggins, you see way out the windshield there, and Magoon is just continuing. But notice how no one is taking the white line anymore.
No.
High line for everybody, and everybody's starting to figure out that is the key to success here, as these guys stretch out longer and longer into this run. Now, how they're looking to separate this race is going to be questionable. I wonder if they're going to be able to get up to around lap 40 to 45 before they're going to have to pit.
I don't know. Jason Crumley looks like he's gone ahead and pit now. And he is working on almost a minute down there, getting some of that Maybe some repairs, maybe some adjustments.
I agree with that. Right now, Jason Crumley having some trouble out there as we take a look. Trying to see. I don't think I see that much of an issue out there here from the 83. Nope, he's all right. Hopefully it does not continue to burn him here. Brian Wiggins coming on down.
There you go.
Very early on the pits. I just try to break it up by the sets of tires here.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are they coming down because of the tires or because they're going to run out of fuel?
We'll see how many people continue to join him here. Wiggins was the closest one to Jared Magoon as Magoon was pulling away. I would say whenever Jared Magoon decides to pit, that's when we'll know what the fuel window is.
Okay.
Because there's no reason for him to pit. Right now he's out to a 3.5 second lead. So right now, if I were him, come down when I run out of fuel, because right now that car is running fantastic out there.
Yes, if it ain't broken, don't touch it.
Yeah, I don't know if Devin Lockridge is going to make any adjustment out there to that car, seeing how well it is running here tonight. If they do anything, it may be taking a look at some of the tire pressures, and I think maybe sling him back out there. I wouldn't want to test anything else. Maybe a little right front tire pressure out there just to help make an adjustment. It looked like he was tail whipping earlier about mid-run, but it looks like that thing is cleaned up a little bit here.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah. I'm liking I'm liking what he's putting down for sure.
Yeah, we keep an eye here on the 99X side machine of Jared Magoon. Now, normally we don't have a whole lot of camera time on this guy out here, but we are keeping an eye as he is putting on a clinic right now. 3.6
Yeah, he's got the fastest time on the track, not particularly this lap, but for the evening, and that best time is 30.026.
Well, even this late into the run, he is still running the fastest time on the track, even last lap-wise. I mean, 31.65 Magoon is running, and right now Kaplan's running a 31.72. So he's still beating him by almost 1/10 of a second, and that 38 laps into this run, which is impressive. It does kind of shake the trees a little bit of your guys out there who are thinking they may have an opportunity to chase it. I think Jared Magoon's coming on down.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at a fuel window of about 38 to 40 then.
All right. Yep. Kaplan and Sikosi had been drafting for a little bit there. They finished their bout with each other. Kaplan's going to get out in front of Sikosi. I think Sikosi wants to stretch it out a few more laps here. And I don't blame him, but I'm really impressed to see Magoon being the only one coming down. Normally you see a lot of followers out there. Guys do pit with the leader.
Yes.
Yes and no. Is it a good idea? If we look back at it here, you want to offset the leader a little bit, see if you can get the upper hand on him. Maybe if Sikosi and Kaplan can keep a decent pace here, these two maybe pit 2 to 3 laps later, have a tire advantage on him, and start and try to run him down for this second stint. I mean, I don't know, Stella. Right now, that's going to be kind of reaching for the stars out there, the way Magoon was running.
Yeah, well, if you don't have anything in your pocket, then you need to change pockets. So I mean, if you can't get up there to be able to challenge Jared Magoon, then you've got to come up with something. And Clint Mata and Patrick Gentner are now down in the pits, hoping that they can do just that.
Yep. Right now we see Clint Mata working his way out of the pits now. Gentner is working his way in. So still, a driver like Johnny Avila right now. Whoop, there goes Kaplan. Kaplan! No. I think he locked him down, then might have stalled it out there. Shane Wheeldon coming down. Right now, that is going to kill Jacob Kaplan's roll here.
Did he sustain enough damage?
No, just now his pit lane time is going to be extended by almost 3.5 seconds. by him sliding in, and that's if he didn't speed. Sikosi coming on down. And the driver who was concerned the most out there, whether his car was going to be worth a dang out there, right now is still on the track. 42 laps into this run. And I'm wondering if he's starting to question what adjustment he's going to make, or if he's making those last couple of tweaks. Only 3 drivers left, and that is the Yates Racing team. They have worked it here for some longevity. Right now, Avila does not look to be setting up for pit. He's going to continue. Landwehr continues. McConville coming on down. Oh, my gosh.
Oh. Why does it seem like perhaps these guys have waited just a tad too long on those tires?
Yeah, I would say. I would be extremely surprised to see if McConville is not penalized here for speed in the pit. Yeah. Way too fast. So we may be seeing McConville serving the penalty in the pit box. Yep, left side's down and they're holding.
Oh.
Wow. Well, that should be a 15-second hold there for McConville. And right now, that's going to give Johnny Avila and Landwehr kind of a little bit of a hint. They may have to slow down. Jared Magoon gets past our leaders here, getting back onto the lead lap as he gets out front. And right now, Stella, we are looking, I'm just looking at relative time. Landwehr and Avila still have to come down. Magoon is currently leading Mark Sikosi by 10.5 seconds.
And Landwehr is in.
So Avila still staying out there. Stella, go ahead and make sure you make notes that this guy is able to go 45 laps, and I think he's running out of fuel. Yep, he's coming down pit this time.
Low. There we go.
Jared Magoon will be reclaiming the lead here. It's currently Nathan Landwehr working his way out of pits.
Yeah, Mike McConville ended up 55 seconds, so they did hold him to 40 for speeding. And let's see how our Canadian ends up getting in and out. So far, getting his tires, fuel, and zip. 15:42 is his time.
Yep. Early second and third just made it past him. Kaplan will be the next one, which will move Avila down to 5th. But right now, Jared Magoon is out to an insane lead here. We'll move back, taking a look. Right now, Sikosi, yep, it's showing right now the battle box. Crumley is the closest one to him now. 9.5 seconds for Jared Magoon.
Okay.
See if we can find some positions out there. Number 1 going across the top, and number 2 halfway between 1 and 2.
I'd say that's rather comfortable.
I'll say.
What's uncomfortable is this cloud cover. We apologize, people out there, but we've got some serious overcast. And that's why everything's looking kind of,
Murky.
gray? Murky? Hazy? Yeah. So don't adjust your screens.
Wow. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Right now, you see the lights are starting to come on as the glare comes off the cars. Magoon is losing a little bit of longevity here. I wonder if he stretches this one out. Right now, about a 4-lap deficit for Magoon to Sikosi. So we'll see if Magoon can stay out there and maybe do a little tire conservation. I don't know if he's going to try to clutch it around here a couple of times to try to see if he can squeeze out a few more laps to see if he can stay out front. Right now, I don't know, as the time is getting cut down here, now down to 8.8. Sikosi is really starting to get rolling here. Picked up 0.3 of a second that last lap. 30.75 out of Magoon, this time by for Sikosi, looks like a 30.51. So still 2/10 more. He's able to shave off.
And that's somebody with just 42 new tires on lap 42. We've got a couple fellas out there with new tires on lap 45 and 46. So we may have some shakeups.
Yeah, well, they're changing up a little bit. Remember, Avila, don't count him out. He may be 14 seconds off the lead here. But I would say the adjustments he is going to make here during this run may help him fight toward the front. And he can be a little rougher on these tires than having to worry about the longevity of staying out there. We move back to Jacob Kaplan working on Nathan Landwehr there. His machine coming off a fresh win.
Well, last week at Talladega, we did have an hour and 29 minutes of racing for the 94 laps, 7 leaders, 31 lead changes, and only 2 cautions, which I think was very, very good for Talladega. Our car count was a little low, so they had a lot of room to play around on that 2.5-mile track. But like you say, Jacob Kaplan came in first, Shane Wheeldon in second, and Justin Cope in third. And since we have all these gentlemen here, I'm hoping to see a little bit more action of them moving toward the front.
They're going to be trying their best. Right now, taking a look at the lead, drivers are currently laps down. Brian Wiggins is down a lap, Michael Conville is down a single lap. And take a look, I think Jason Crum is down 6.
5, but I'll take yours.
Getting on around. Let's go Jared Magoon. Currently out by 7 1/4. Now 7 seconds. Sikosi's really on a great roll here. Right now he's got a separation from himself from Justin Cope, who's 1.6 behind him.
Now I'm noticing they're almost treating that turn like a dog leg. Are they changing up from riding that high line the whole time?
It's driver's choice.
Okay.
They can do that if they wish. Normally you don't see
It's
guys
working.
do that because they don't like the level change.
No.
Yeah,
No,
sometimes
I
it's not
wouldn't
working
think
for
so.
them. Sikosi's finding some success in it down there. So that's also how he's built the cars. He's raised up the nose of that thing. That way he can do that without bottoming out.
Yeah, we've seen our share of that as far as the bottoming. Now we see sparks flying.
All right, Stella, we are pretty spread out here at the track.
Yeah, I was looking. No real challenges.
Yeah, not really. So I gotta see a couple of guys shuffling around out there. I know Nathan Landwehr's got a couple of drivers that are around him pretty close.
Yep,
We do have
nobody.
a solid separation out there.
Yeah, no, we only have one person that's under a second apart from the guy in front of him. And that's Shane Wheeldon coming up on Jacob Kaplan, but still by 3/4 of a second. That's sometimes in racing, that's an eternity.
Yep. Do give it to Kaplan, though, for being able to make it in and out of pits without being held.
Yep, 14.63 for him.
Yep. The lane time where he was sliding sideways coming in did give him a lane time of 48 seconds compared to everybody else's 42.
Ah, okay. Okay.
But he was actually able to get back out there and pass Shane Wheeldon, so really on a roll here with Jacob Kaplan. Right now, Kaplan, the next one he's looking for is that 28 machine. You see him in the Haviland machine as he's staring out in front. That's the next one he's looking for.
Yeah, I think Nathan Landwehr may have something to say about that. He's been having a pretty good night. He is down 3, but he was right up there in in the catbird seat for a while. Oh, look. We've got somebody out there rooting for Jacob in his 44 car. Dave's TTM autographs.
That's
Welcome
currently
aboard.
Crumley they're running into here at the top. Wiggins gets pinched. Couple of lane changes there. Wiggins going to drop down and start following behind the 43 car of Shane Wielden. He prays for a little help catching up. Alrighty. That astronomical lead that Jerry Magoon has been cut in half. We are now to 5 1/4 as Sikosi continues to run him down. Lap, Stella, work on my math. Lap 74 will be doubling his last pit stop.
Jared Magoon. 76.
76, okay. All right,
Alicia's out there. Rooting on Jacob also.
All right, bunch of players out there, a bunch of fans out there rooting on Jacob Kaplan out there. Right now he is up 5 positions from his original qualifying spot.
Nice. That is a very cool car.
Yep. We finally got a chance to talk to him there at Talladega. Talk about a strategic and technical race right there at the last few laps. Was able to squeak by with a little help of his teammates that were lined up behind him. Never given up.
Dusty Pope kind of squeezed in there, though.
Looks like a couple teammates getting ready to match up with each other out here.
Match up or mash up?
Hopefully match up with Nathan Landwehr and Johnny Avila here.
Oh, okay. Well, the question is, would they strive to pass one another, or would there be any advantage to getting a little draft going?
I'm not sure. I think Johnny Avila is actually starting to clutch his car already.
Odd.
Let's see if that RPM gauge reaches down and touches the 2 here. Yep.
No kidding.
He's already starting the fuel savings. Avila looking to offset these guys.
Well, he's already has the latest pit stop with lap 46. Landwehr is with 45, so the 2 of them should already be matching up. Wow. And he's starting now. I am intrigued. Goodness, who are we watching off the back of here?
We are looking at Jared Magoon looking back at Mark Sikosi.
Well, this is when I say, this is beyond binoculars. We're now working on a telescope. I do believe I see some movement back there, but whew. Ah, Peter Lubbock. Come on, Shane. Excellent. Oh, look at you. Get 43 into victory lane. He's a poet and he didn't know it.
All right, we'll take a look at Jared Magoon here. Let's see if he's doing anything, if he's considering clutching as well. He has been able to slow the bleed there. No, he did not. But He is still in a 5-second lead over top of Mark Sikosi. And right now, their times are just about matched evenly.
Okay.
With a 31.64 on Magoon, 31.68 out of Sikosi. The only person running extremely much faster than that is Johnny Avila, even though he's clutching. Is still
He's a
running half a
31
second faster.
Yeah, the 31.16. Holy mackerel. That is interesting.
Yeah, don't count him out yet.
And never.
Something tells me if we may see this guy pit around lap 90, and then he'll have the fresh tires on the last lap at the end. So we'll see how it goes. Kind of
82. Yeah, in the next 10 laps, we'll be doubling most everybody's pit stop time from the last time they came in.
all right.
Dude, what?
Shuffling some things in the background. Let's take a look. Here at Justin Cope. Cope has shot around Landwehr. And now he's going to be taking a look here for the 44 machine of Kaplan.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. What was that?
Tail wag there by Justin Cope.
Oh, Mark Sikosi's coming into pit road. Wow, talk about a bit of a change up there.
All right, this is the spot for third. Currently, Cope and Landwehr are the closest drivers here together at the moment. You see Cope backed up to his original qualifying position for fourth. Landwehr is holding on to the spot in the top five. Now a lot of guys out there starting to watch that pit strategy. Magoon now back out to a 7.6 second lead.
Yeah,
Mark
when your
Sikosi
guy at
came
5
down.
seconds. Yeah, and he came down for just a standard pit stop. Nothing, no razzle dazzle, no cutting short on anything in particular. So he seems to be doing. Yeah, that's only 30 from where some of these other fellas came down. That is not stretching it at all. Wonder if he just liked the feel of those brand new tires and wanted to get that back sooner rather than later.
I'm not sure. I would assume that he also will not be able to get it on either. Remember Avila, he took the longest, 46.
Yeah.
Brian Wiggins coming on down.
I'm kind of curious to see what Mark Sikosi will run now. Yeah, he's in the 30-second range. Everybody else is running in the 31s.
Yep, 30.48 as he gains at least a second and a half per lap. Only come down for his second time. Remember, they do have an extra set of tires down there.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm wondering, if that's why he came down so early. All right, here's Magoon coming in.
All right, split it in half, 78 and 78. Well, excuse me, 38 is how many laps he went.
Yes.
So Lap 78 is when he'll be coming down again. All right, now Patrick Gettner working his way on down. Or Genther. On to Cope. Cope up to second. Avila has retaken the lead. And he'll be able to stretch it a lot farther. I'm assuming somewhere in the 90s we'll see this guy come down.
Wow. Yeah, if he can hang on to the tires, then fuel is his only real stopping issue. Clint Mata coming in.
But with him able to clutch it and pick up pace on the rest of the drivers,
yes.
I know, it makes you question whether this guy's got the winning strategy and we're just not seeing it.
There goes Mark Sikosi. Did he just get his lap back the hard way?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, that was a little touch.
That's all right. He's trying to work as much as he can here. Clutching around this track, Johnny Avila is.
Okay.
So he won't have to cut off the engine this time when he comes down into pit. If you think about it, everybody else is going to be trying to stretch in it, and he'll be full bore. Because he will not be worrying about fuel at that point. Everybody else looks like they're going to have to pit one more time. And I don't believe Johnny Avila will.
Wow.
Yep.
Shane Wheeldon coming down. A little STP in that car. Oh. Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Time he pit was back on lap 42. Should be coming this time by. Jared Magoon working his way on around.
Our top three and Mike McConville are the only ones now who have not come down for their second pit stop. Hope coming in.
The Yates team, we're waiting to see what they decide to do here. I think Landwehr as well is clutching this thing. Shutting the engine off.
Wow, that's a little drastic. Huh. Do you think he's trying to stay to pit with Johnny Avila and he hasn't been clutching it for as long, so now he's kind of on fumes?
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, as Magoon now getting around. Magoon now back onto the lead lap. I would say you almost need a caution out here to kind of thwart whatever, to kind of upend the Yates Racing team's deal here. Tropicana 400. Let's change it up just a little bit. We are still watching the Yates Racing team. Has yet to pit. Mike McConville, after the speeding into pit road, is yet to be able to recover. currently still a lap down out there, sitting down in 9th. Right now, that is Avila working his way around Clint Mata. Clint Mata tries to fend him off here.
Yeah, I was looking. Jared Magoon is now in just the opposite position of 6 seconds behind Mark Sikosi. So they have flipped the script on that one.
Boy, oh boy. I know. The worst part is with it being so few cars out here, you almost see the inevitable. You know, there's no chance of a change up here unless, I mean, somebody spins out, but everybody has obviously been pretty strong out here. Everybody's got this thing under control and everything else out there, but I'm wondering anybody else. Let me see if we can take a cockpit view of Magoon and see if trying to ping into him and let him know, hey, you know, we're not going to make it. Because right now we are getting ready to cross lap number 91. And Avila's still out there.
Well, this would be at this point double from when he came in at 46. Now at 92. He should be thinking about it. Mike McConville is.
Let's get that thing slowed up right before he pulls in. Just in time. All right.
And probably one lap later, if they followed the same plan as last solo, Lord. Slow-wee.
Almost made a mistake.
Yes, he did. But he managed to hold it. I don't even think he sped coming in.
Nope.
But yes, he saved that fuel to be able to come in this late. But man, those tires were crying uncle.
All right, he has the furthest pit box. All the way down pit lane. That's going to put Sikosi into the lead. Magoon now chasing him. 2 3/4 behind.
Yeah, he cut that lead in half while we were talking about he was 5 seconds ahead. Mark Sikosi was from Jared Magoon. And like you say, now he's only 2.5. All right, pretty standard pit stop for everyone. This round, Clint Mata had a little bit of extra time. But yeah, we're all in the 14 to 16 range.
Yeah, I think some of these guys happy about the green flag that we've had this whole time, but some of these other guys realize they might have fumbled here on the pit stop strategy and the longevity of them being out there.
Yeah, I'm amazed that we're talking 20 extra laps just between the 88 and the 8. Mark Sikosi came down in 73, Johnny Avila in 93.
Yep. The only thing that would upend it is a caution. That's the only thing
Absolutely.
I can say. That's the only thing that would upend it. Holy
But
cow.
he would, Johnny Avila would still have newer tires. Unless you think everybody would come down. I mean, if there was a caution right now, would you bother? Cool. What's that?
I was looking to see what I could do. A little bit of a timing difference. Right now, Landwehr is joined by Johnny Avila as the only two drivers to break under 30 seconds.
Oh.
Yep, they are picking up the pace. Remember, fuel is not going to be a problem this time.
Okay.
29.98 again for Avila.
Yeah, they are pouring it on. But take a look. Jared Magoon, under a second, coming up on Mark Sikosi.
It won't be much longer for Magoon to catch him.
Not at this pace. He's running about a half a second faster per lap.
Riding on top of Jared Magoon's machine here. We notice how Magoon did have a little bit of a hard stumble there through the road. There goes Sikosi.
Okay. Now
Yeah,
this
I think
is a bit of a
Sikosi
change.
knows he's off cycle. If he pits earlier, they can kind of stop the bleeding here.
All right.
Rather unfortunate here for Sikosi having to come back down.
Yes,
front
I'm
nose
looking
damage?
to see. Oh,
I think it is 19 seconds.
oh no. 425. What did he hit? Did he come in and hit the wall? I mean, left front. Maybe he sped.
And what's that got to do
Nope.
with the price of beans here?
We're at a minute. Because I was looking to see maybe it was just 40 seconds he had to sit.
But look at the front end of the car.
Yeah. I'm looking. What are you seeing? Oh, what the hey? He hit. Oh, it's a delay. He hit the cone. He hit. Clink. And then. Voila. Oh, I missed it. Dunk.
So that is also
That.
a pit road commitment violation,
Yes.
which holds a 45-second penalty.
Yep.
So
And
Mark
that works
Sikosi,
out.
after a minute in the pit box, and the damage is still there.
Oh, okay. So that was just penalty, not.
Yep.
Wow. I'll tell you, he can have victories snatched away like nobody's business.
Yep. It almost seems like admin curse.
Oh.
Well, you see Bill Harkins. That guy gets up in the top 5 and then he gets taken out.
Oh. Okay. I give.
All right, so we're just watching the laps tick on by. Jared Magoon's
Currently-
last pit stop was back on lap 78. And that is currently lap traffic sitting behind him of Jason Crumley.
So Jared Magoon again has one of those, I would say, insurmountable but pretty impressive 7-second lead over second place 88 Johnny Avila.
Yep, but it is slowly chewing away.
Always. almost a 1 second. Oh my. Yeah, Avila is almost 1 second a lap. That's not good.
Yep.
But that's 20 lap newer tires? Or
Easy.
not quite that much.
About 20. I
15?
think about, yeah, about 25. Nope, 15.
No.
Yep.
Thank
Wow. Our math is off tonight.
you. Our?
Huh?
Did you say our math or
Yep,
your
'cause
math?
Crumley was down 6 laps.
Okay.
All right, there's Magoon. Justin Cope sitting right behind him. If I'm not mistaken, I thought Clinton Mata was right behind him. Here's Crumley. Johnny Avila right behind him. So maybe lap traffic can slow him down. Maybe it'll help him here.
We shall see, but we do have two pit road takers, Shane Wielden and Jacob Kaplan, just coming through. Looks like, yep. Now, Shane Wielden is on an extended stay in his pit box. Heavens, did he speed in?
Whoop. I know, almost scratched it. Jason Crumley almost bringing out a caution here.
Yeah, got a little off-road notice, but, oh, I think Shane Wielden, yes, sped into pits. 55 seconds in the box. Jared Magoon coming down. Yike.
Yep.
.82 for Jared Magoon. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Out he goes again.
Yep. But that only leaves, I think, 3 drivers on the lead lap.
Yes.
Avila last year. Cope.
Yes.
All I has to do is just make sure he's got enough fuel to make it to the end.
Wow. And if he can, Nathaniel's right behind him. They're only 1 lap away from each other as far as times. .84 though for Justin Cope, unless he's doing the old clutcheroo thing again. He may have to come down again.
Oh, for Cope? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming Cope's gonna have to return. He's not gonna be able to make it 50 laps.
Yeah, his 46 was for Avila, but he was going through some extenuating circumstances to get there. I would assume Clint Mata, who is currently in front of Jared Magoon, by what, about 2-3 seconds, he is also going to be quickly heading down because he's lap 79.
Yep. May not have had the speed tonight, but he had the smarts. And with this thing going just about caution free here, he's have 19 laps to figure that out. That he may switch it up here. Even if a caution were to come out, expect Avila to come down to get the upper hand on the tire strategy.
They just lapped Cope.
Yep.
Heavens. So the only 2 on the lead lap.
Yes.
Okay, our number 1 and 2.
19 more laps to get it done. Right now. Yeah, that is impressive. That is impressive.
Wow. I'm sorry, I thought there was going to be contact.
Well, the drivers go ahead and race it out. Stella, you want to give us a shout out for our track day for veterans out there? Brought to you by
Well, you just did.
Getting our vets out there, doing something fun, being able to build a little teamwork and camaraderie between each other out there at the track. Definitely helps raise funds to go ahead and send those boys over there. So get the gun out of their hands, the steering wheel in.
This is for driving, not necessarily for viewing.
Correct.
Excellent.
This is Jared Magoon looking to get his lap back.
And he does.
All right. Now the driver's going to be looking to do the same as Jacob Kaplan. He's got a little ways to go.
Yeah, about 4 seconds back there. 14 laps to go now. Jared Magoon is not, he's running faster than the number 1 and number 2, but I don't think he's running fast enough to get it done in 13 laps.
No, he would have to go 2 seconds a lap.
Right.
Yeah, right now he's running a 30.47, so he's running 1.2 seconds faster than Johnny Avila currently. Yeah, Devin Lockhart says he's pulling his hair out. It looks like they just outsmarted you on the fuel strategy. Currently, Avila and Landwehr have been clutching and shutting the engine off to stretch this as far as they can. That way they can get up around 45 laps. Most people stopping around 35 to 39.
Yeah. I thought I just saw a tail wiggle, though, on the 88.
Yeah, but I believe that was Shane Wheeldon passing and loosening them up just a little bit.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So that is actually Sikosi and Kaplan going at it.
It is. He's right off the shoulder, isn't he there? Yep, there he is.
Jared Magoon trying to see if he can come back with the comeback of a lifetime. About 26 and a half seconds to go. Aiming to find our leader. 21 and a half to get second place, but he is still held on for third. Kaplan trying to reel him in, though, about 4 seconds behind him. Looks like everybody might be locking in, though. This may be their finishing order.
Kaplan is running in the 30s, so Jared Magoon is going to need to not rear view mirror drive, but keep an eye on him back there.
Getting ready to run into one of his teammates out there. I believe Shane Wheeldon. Wheeldon right now has got his handful of a cob. out in front. Stay that way. Kaplan underneath. Although with Kaplan fighting through some of this lap traffic here, he is able to hold Magoon to a 4-second gap. Magoon is trying to run away, just breaking under 25 seconds to Johnny Avila. And 20 seconds to Nathan. Out there saying this is great.
That's your Tony the Tiger impression?
Sure.
Great. So.
Tropicana 400 will be coming to a close here in 5 laps. Interesting race that we've had here tonight. No cautions. And Stella, why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers what our next race is looking like out there. I know after we come off Talladega, then we come to Chicagoland for the first round here of the playoffs. I'm sure race number 2 is going to be great.
Our race number 2 for the Challenger Cup is going to be at Dover. 200 laps.
That'll march away pretty quick. Normal laps there about 22 to 24 seconds. So those guys will
Kinda
definitely
like
be
here.
scooting the boot out there.
And it will be an afternoon race, which should be a little bit brighter.
Yeah,
Be
we'll see.
1 o'clock.
We'll definitely see. All right. Continue racing under the lights. On the Avila, and let Cosi on around. Devin Lock giving it up for definitely a hectic race here tonight. 2 laps left to go.
Peter likes Dover. His favorite track. White flag is out.
Yeah, this time by as we head down the backstretch into turn number
88 and 83 all right together.
Ouch.
Oh no.
Wow.
That hurt.
Yep, well, white flag is out, so if anybody spins out, it is what it is. Avila's got to make around 1 more round and a half here. Everybody pretty excited about the Monster Mile. I don't think we'll get as much separation as we did here tonight between all of our drivers coming to the green and the checkered. There it is, Johnny Avila winning it here at the Tropicana 400. And the green, he's going to be winning some money. Big money. All right, awesome job there, Johnny Avila, outsmarting these guys. Awesome job. I would wonder if McConville did not speed into pit road there. Yeah, if this may have been a 1-2-3 night.
Oh my. Yeah, because you realize McConville also went. He came in on lap 90. Yeah, he would have been right up there with Landwehr and Avila in the pit strategy anyway. Justin Cope also made it from lap 84. He never did come down that 3rd time. Impressive.
Yeah, especially for finishing 5th.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll get our unofficial results up. Avila wins once again. I know this almost looked like it was Jared Magoon's race to lose. And that he did. All right, Stella, we're going to cut away and we'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, catching up with our third place finisher here tonight, Jared Magoon. You ran a heck of a race here tonight. I would say a little pit strategy by the Yates Racing team, I think, overtook you guys here tonight in the X-Side machine.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good run right off the bat. We got off to a great start. I think I got up to like a 2 or 3 second lead, but then fuel strategy came into play and it kind of messed everything up, everything that we had planned. So I had a great car. Thank you to Devin Lockridge for that. Yeah.
Yeah, regardless, still a top 3 finish. You come into a podium, man. It looked like it was your race to lose. These guys were doing everything, even shutting their engine off and clutching this thing to try to overcome and try to figure out how to offset you out there from the pretty insane pace you were setting.
Right. Was I the only one that was running like that high to start?
Yes.
Or like to start like a run?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And we noted it that you were up top. I have seen people with success at the top, and then as soon as everybody saw you starting to pull away and roll away from the rest of the field, everybody rotated up top. That way you would stall out a little bit.
Yep. I did notice that part like halfway through that first run there. They started catching me, but then I started pulling away again. So I had never seen a car that had like great like right away speed, and then it fell off a little bit halfway through, and then it was just built for the long run right after. So that was wild. That was a great build by Devin.
Yeah, that definitely happens when guys behind you are scrambling trying to catch up and they burn their stuff up trying to run you down. But that might happen. That might happen when we head to Dover. You know, what do you and Devin Lockridge have kind of in mind when you guys head to the Monster Mile?
We take everything week by week. So up until a couple hours ago, this was our only thought. So I'm sure we'll have a conversation later on this week, and we'll do some testing and get a great car to continue with this. Hopefully, a deep playoff run for us here.
All right, awesome job here, man. Fantastic. Go ahead and give me a shout outs here, and let's get you ready for Dover.
Yeah, shout outs. The only real one that I got is Devin Lockridge. He's helped me with everything through like coaching, being my crew chief. Yeah, and he sets up the cars, and I drive them. That's it.
And well.
Yep. I heard you haven't had a whole lot of time behind the wheel either.
No, I haven't. I have not been doing this for that long. I think I started in November because one of my friend gave me his wheel because he was moving away, and it was like a Thrustmaster, like from I don't even know, like 2015 or something like that. That I was just like messing with, and I was like, hey, I kind of like this. This is pretty fun. So then now I got a Sim Magic. I got the whole setup. I'm devoted. I'm dedicated.
There you
I'm
go.
all in.
He's all in. That's what I was thinking.
Awesome. All right, Jared. Good luck to you, buddy, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you for all you do.
Yep.
Let's do it again.
Not a problem.
Yes, yes.
All right, Jared, we get pretty excited out there. That moves us on to our second place finisher of Nathan Landwehr. What a race it was out there. All right, we rode along with you for a while. Was that the plan from lap number 1 to shut the engine off to make it last longer?
Yeah, not really actually. We just kind of went in there and around lap 5 started looking at the numbers and realized that it was probably going to end up being better to do that, and so we kind of committed to that strategy and it worked out for us.
Boy, yeah, you want to talk about offsetting. It looked like Jared Magoon had the race won there. Avila said his car was not set up for tonight, not ready. You had only probably 5 laps more on him out there practicing to set this car up. Yet here you are in second place.
Yeah, it was not a good start to the night. Nothing was dialed in. I was wrecking loose off, but we worked on the car in the pits and made some adjustments and got it driving decent there for the last run where we didn't have to worry about fuel or nothing. But for the little preparation we had coming in, I think we did obviously pretty good. So
Yes.
All right. Well, I assume there's going to be more preparation when you guys head to Dover next week. What is your outlook on when we take all these guys and smash them into a smaller track?
yeah, I think especially with the massive amount of horsepower that these cars got, it's gonna be rough. The way you set up the car is gonna be really big there. Big driver's track especially. So gonna have a lot of beat and banging. It's gonna be a good race though. Good race.
All right. Yep. Well, definitely on exit of turn number 4. That seems to catch everybody off guard. And whipping out a 2 where the wind normally crosses across the front of that nose. So we'll see how everybody can hang in there. Nathan Landwehr, congratulations on your second place finish. Go ahead and give me a shout out while I got you here.
I just want to shout out all the people that make this happen. You guys, the drivers, and the admins.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome. All right, Nathan Landwehr, congratulations bringing that 28 Havoline in, and we'll see how you can do it next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Stella, looks like you're catching up with the race winner of Johnny Avila. You talked to him before the race, and it looks like you're going to get a little friendlier out there with him, seeing that he's here in winner's circle.
Hey, hey, hey.
I think that little chat was my lucky charm right there, because I made a Hail Mary adjustment, and it handled pretty good. And then I got lucky that really only Nate and I were fuel saving hard enough to make it a 2-stopper.
Yeah, that we went in cockpit with you guys and fuel saving hard. That's an understatement. You were clutching it but still gaining, and he was turning his engine off. That was pretty mind-boggling. I've seen that a couple times before, but never that aggressively or that early on. That's impressive.
Yeah, I think the second run, literally as soon as I got out of pit road with fresh tires, I started clutching on like lap 1 or 2 of that run, all the way till it was time to pit and then go to the end.
Yeah, well, you made it to lap 46, and everybody else was way, way earlier, and then you did even more than that the second time. So that's a strategy, boy, and it definitely worked out for you.
Oh yeah.
So next week, Dover. Nathan
I love
says
Dover.
you love Dover.
I
Okay.
love Dover. What is it? My only Road to Pro win was at Dover, but it was like my very first year of iRacing. So that track has always been kind of special to me.
Okay. There's a couple out here. Peter Slowick also says it's his track out in the chat. So we should have a lot of viewers watching then. I like it.
Awesome.
So you plan on putting on a good show then, right?
Hopefully I get more than like 5 minutes to work on the setup.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Oh, I've had such a crazy week. Like so much has been going on. So like, I love the fact that there's this league where like you can kind of escape from everything, have fun with your friends, talk some smack, and just have a good time with everybody.
I like it. All right, honey. Well, you are a winner. Give us some shout outs. You've got people out there watching you, I'm sure.
I'd like to thank everybody that puts this league together. I know there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes. And then also appreciate you guys for broadcasting this. I know my wife likes to tune in and watch the race here and there, have some fun. And then also I'd like to shout out Outlier. I build the Xfinity car there, so if you're looking for NASCAR setups in particularly, especially cheap cheap ones, I'd say definitely check out Outlier Speed Co. We definitely like to put out good equipment, but not gouge people.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's for those who are a little intimidated by open setup leagues. That would definitely be a help.
I the guys in this league have been pretty great. Like I've been really open, and so has Cody with like if people have questions on if they're stuck with a setup or they're having issues. Like we both are like open door. You can ask us questions, and we'll try to guide people in the right direction. Because the more competitive things are, the more fun people are having, the more people we can get, and just everybody enjoy their time.
There you go. There you go. I like the attitude. I like the goal. All right, Patrick. Uh, g- Wrap us up here.
Yep, sounds good. Johnny Avila, congratulations on winning the Tropicana 400, and we'll see you at Dover.
Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
Yep.
You bet.
All right, Stella, that is something to keep in mind as well. Kind of write this down. This guy's got a road to pro win. That is something. I don't see a pro license here, but regardless, he still was able to get a win out there. Normally, that's about 40 guys all racing for the same spot, and then over a matter of about 4 to 5 races to get your pro license if you can win it. So that means he was there, getting pretty close. So Johnny Avila, a tough one to beat, and obviously we can tell that from now, as Avila comes away with the win here at Chicagoland. All right, you heard us a couple of times, everybody. We shouldn't have to repeat ourselves, but we're going to anyway. Next week will be Dover, so we're going to head to the Monster Mile and see what Miles is doing out there and which car he's got in his hand this time around. I can't wait. A lot of guys are excited about that track. I would be excited. I am a sucker for short concrete tracks out there. Definitely that white knuckle driving all the way around. Seeing the view from the bridge is just an excellent track to be at. A lot of guys have been very successful there. Others have been bitten by silly things such as the barrels. So, Stella, anything left to add here before we sign on off?
Oh dear, yes. Let's not have an all about barrels award for anyone next week. But look forward to it and see you then.
All right. Hopefully everybody hangs around Johnny Avila. He might have the winning setup out there to figure out what he needs to do to get that car ready to go. But from all of us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, signing off with the NSR Series. Be well, be safe, be kind. See all you guys next time.